Blind Faith Live, real people, real miracles. I'm Philip Keller. This is Issam's Insights with Dr. Issam Nemeh. A couple of things today. One is, when you're really perplexed by something, you're looking for an answer, and then one day, in a moment of peace, just total peace, you go, oh, I get it now. That's what I need to do. And then later, it just feels totally foreign. Like, there's no way I can do that. That battle between this physical world and that answer, and when that spiritual switch is on and that answer. Dr. Nemeh will talk about that battle within ourselves and who we should be listening to. We're going to start with kids. Our kids, what is our responsibility? They bring their own baggage. But as a parent, what's our role? What's our true spiritual role in raising our children? Issam's Insight on Blind Faith Live. Real people, real miracles.
We are entrusted with a human life. Those souls come in, they have no knowledge whatsoever of the physical world. So we have to respect them. I have to respect their mind, even from an early age. Respect it in such a way, you have to make sure that you are giving them enough love, enough security, because the feeling of danger starts right from early on. It's a matter of that survival instinct within the physical. Because we belong to this world and there is destruction all the time that happens around us. We are threatened. So you have to respect them. You have to respect their mind. You have to give them love and everything. Now, as a believer, the only way of showing the truth to those children that you are entrusted with is to live a life before them. So I have to live a righteous life that could be very inspiring for them, and I have to let them make their choices, because every one of us, actually, we make choices even from the first moment we are here, we make the choices. And you become such an inspiration, allowing God's Spirit to work through you and manifesting through you, and then becomes for those kids part of their life. And it's binding in a sense. Not only this, I can expand that to another thing which is Christian in nature, like baptizing our children. Because a lot of people argue, I did not make a choice to be baptized. But look at the concept. Being a parent, baptizing my children, yes, does count. Because here they are born into a Christian life. So that baptism is like they are going to be dying to the world and they'll be living for Jesus, because I inspired them to lead them into the real baptism, which is the baptism of the Holy Spirit.
Well, we can certainly raise the bar or lower the bar for our children. And God help your children. You raised the bar so high for them. And as I said, they're good kids, so it's worked. You and Kathy both. You must feel very blessed by that. I think do you believe you've inspired your kids?
Definitely I inspired them. There's no question. It could make them suffer a little bit. Because here, deep inside, you are not telling them not to do, like in a direct way. And here the world is pulling them the other way. So they feel some kind of an oppression that is indirect, is very hard to explain to themselves. So they become a little, they go through moments of depression in there, because the standards they are living with are so much higher than the other standards, and the interpretation of everything is so different. It binds them. I mean, I don't have to tell them do or don't do, except on occasions, But I think it was very effective.
Yeah. And I know you live this 24/7, and no matter where you are. But is there a particular time of the day that you're especially plugged in, if you will?
From what I've seen over the years, the more tired I am, the more plugged in I become.
When you're absolutely exhausted is when he's talking to you?
And that's the way God works with us. It's like I have a second wind by midnight, they say. But it's so true. I mean, I've noticed that even from my early age. The more under pressure, the more focused. you become. It's like God's protection.
Is it part of that, in your weakness you will find strength?
You are inspiring me right now by saying that.
Why?
Because you are opening my eyes on something never came to my mind.
What's that?
Through weakness, because I see that in a different way when it comes to St. Paul's case that I always quote, in weakness, God is glorified. Yeah, when I'm weak and huge things are happening as a result of my intercession, then people will know that it's God that is at work, not this weak man. Mm-hmm. But here, there are some deeper things, obviously. Mm. The weaker physically I am, maybe the more powerful is the manifestation. Mm-hmm. Maybe the physical exhaustion makes you less focused on the world, maybe. Mm-hmm. Because when you are tired, you go to sleep, And what goes to sleep really is your physical consciousness. Maybe this is playing a role, That's very inspiring. That could be used as a method of therapy.
Yeah, everyone just get really exhausted, and you'll find your answers. Your answers will come to you. It's part of that be still thing, though. Again, I mean, once again, if we just kind of quiet down, I think most of us, or a lot of us, make our decisions when we are just, everything is just running. You got 5,000 things going, and you're just going, and you feel on top of the world, but you don't always make your best decisions.
Yeah, we enslave ourselves to our physical mind. Mm-hmm. Actually, that's what it is. Because it drives you into controlling everything around you. The deeper you go into that physical existence, the more you are in control of it. So you want to change everything, and it becomes a blinding force for us. It thickens the veil, that separates the spiritual consciousness from the physical.
That is the battle, isn't it? That's
the battle. That's definitely the battle.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to that moment, because as you say, when we are totally at peace, when our mind is at peace, when ego is a million miles away, you can come to a conclusion, a thought, a direction that is so different from when you're leaving that peaceful moment, and then the fight begins of, well, which is the reality? What do I really need to do? What am I supposed to be doing here? Correct?
Yeah, exactly. No, it creates a conflict because the physical that we live in is subjected to the evil influence, and even our physiology is part of that. So here, let's not forget one thing. We have a duality again. So when I am completely ignoring the physical part of me, then my mind switches back to a spiritual consciousness. And there's a very fine line separating that. How many times every one of us experiences that shift without us even being aware that, it's shifting to the spiritual. But when you start paying attention to it, like in my prayer, I experience the higher spirituality, and it gives you a feedback that is peaceful, that is so different from your daily experience. Automatically you start paying attention more to that separation between physical and spiritual, and this is actually part of our experience as believers, because here you start discerning more, you start seeing more. You realize, yes, there is a separation between my physical consciousness and my spiritual. But the whole idea is about that, because when you become more aware of that separation, automatically you start spiritualizing your physical consciousness. And that's what Jesus really did. He made the two into one at the end.
So we need to be obviously listening more to that spiritual, that be still and know that I'm God moment versus the other, and then transferring that into how we run our physical being. Because when you talk about spiritualizing our physical consciousness, it just sounds, it's like, what did he say? And we've dealt with it a lot, but it's incorporating that be still moment with us running around in this physical world.
Yes, and the same concept applies when it comes to me. Let's say, you're praying for somebody, and that somebody is just so blinded to that spiritual part, they make it hard. They block it with their physical mind. The same.
And so does that stop the healing if when they stay in that physical mode?
Definitely, it does impede it. You know, but when you are on it, sometimes there is a breakthrough, even a short time, and you could induce their mind to switch to that spiritual part, and you experience the physical healing.
I've watched you at healing services, and you've said this, how sometimes you'll pray over someone and you wait because they're in that physical mode, they're not where they need to be, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and then there's that, you wait for that little crack, and explain what you're waiting for and what happens during that moment.
Because here, I'm connected to the Holy Spirit. If they are not connected to the Holy Spirit, then nothing is communicated to me. It feels like you are hitting a wall. I mean, literally, it's like you can go through the wall, but that wall is preventing you from going through. And here, when the mindset changes a little bit, it's like you made an opening in that wall, and I could feel it. I could feel it very strongly. And it opens the door for me to, go deeper as one interceding for that healing, because you are included. You see, the Spirit includes you in that process.
If someone comes to you and once again, the spirituality isn't there, the God part isn't there, but they come up and they're just the most loving person in the world, that's the same thing? I mean, does it open up immediately?
If you have the love, definitely it's open. Right away, I could feel it. The openness is there, and they could experience the healing, and they become spiritual. I mean, that's usually the case.
Thank you, Dr. Issam Nemeh, the physician of unshakable faith. And thanks for listening to Blind Faith Live. Real people, real miracles. I'm Philip Keller.